stop making excuses for your lack of progress. Stop blaming the economy, your upbringing, the competition, or the conditions around you. If you're not getting what you want out of life, look inward, not outward. There is a force that separates those who merely exist from those who become magnetic and impossible to ignore. That force is enthusiasm, raw, relentless, undiluted energy for your purpose. Most people are not held back by circumstances. They are held back by their own flat tone, their weary spirit, their timid approach to each day. They have yet to realize that in a world saturated with noise and competition, only those who project genuine enthusiasm are heard, remembered, and sought out. You must understand that enthusiasm is not a trivial thing. It is not a luxury to be indulged in only when things are going well. It is the foundation of influence and the signal of an inner certainty that you are destined for more. The man or woman who radiates enthusiasm becomes a magnet for opportunities, for collaborators, for resources, for good fortune itself. There is no mystery to it. Enthusiasm is visible, audible, and contagious. It is the one quality you cannot fake for long, and the one force that, when genuine, cannot be resisted. If you look back on your life and find a pattern of missed chances and small victories, you can be sure your enthusiasm has been insufficient or inconsistent. Enthusiasm is a demonstration of faith. When you move with purpose, when you speak with conviction, when you attack each day as if it matters, because it does, others feel it. They do not need you to recite your credentials or list your plans. They know instinctively whether you are a person on fire for your mission. They will align themselves with you or get out of your way. But if your manner is dull, your presence forgettable, and your words are delivered with the limpness of the defeated, you will be left alone to wonder why nobody rallies to your cause. The truth is blunt. The world does not move for those who are indifferent. You can possess a great mind, a sound plan, and the best of intentions, but if you do not bring enthusiasm, you will fail to energize those around you. Nobody is inspired by a spiritless leader, a joyless innovator, or a tired dreamer. If you are waiting for the world to get excited for you, you will wait your whole life. It is your job to light the fire and keep it burning, especially when conditions seem bleak or your journey has stalled. Success does not respond to the lukewarm. It bends for the relentless. Do not confuse enthusiasm with mere excitement or fleeting passion. Excitement is a spark, but enthusiasm is the steady flame. It survives disappointment, setbacks, and the passage of time. When others quit because the newness has worn off, the truly enthusiastic remain, still building, still believing, still working, still moving. This quality is rare because it must be cultivated daily, not once in a while. You cannot fake it or outsource it. You must wake up and remind yourself of your purpose. Feed your vision with fresh intention and refuse to let the grind of life reduce you to a mere participant. Think of the people who have left a mark on your life, who have changed the temperature of a room just by walking in. These are not always the most charismatic or the loudest, but they are always the most present. They bring an energy that cannot be bought or borrowed. They demand attention because their belief in what they do is absolute. You remember them, you are drawn to them, and you want to be part of their mission. That is what you must become. A beacon of enthusiasm so bright that others cannot help but notice, support, and follow you. Enthusiasm is not about faking positivity or pretending that setbacks do not exist. It is the discipline of finding reasons to keep going when the world gives you every reason to stop. It is the stubborn refusal to let mediocrity become your standard. It is choosing to bring energy, focus, and urgency to every task, even when nobody is watching and the rewards seem distant. You do not become magnetic by waiting for inspiration to strike. You become magnetic by taking control of your own energy and refusing to let external events dictate your spirit. The first step to turning enthusiasm into your magnet is to identify your true aim. Vagueness is the enemy of enthusiasm. You cannot be truly enthusiastic about something you do not understand, something you have not committed to, something you have not made real in your mind. Get specific. What do you want? Who do you want to become? What mark do you want to leave? When you are clear about your purpose, your enthusiasm will begin to rise naturally. It is impossible to be passionate about a fog. Make your purpose vivid. Write it down, say it out loud, visualize it, and revisit it every day. The clearer your aim, the hotter your enthusiasm will burn. Protect your enthusiasm as you would your most valuable asset. Negative people, idle gossip, cynical attitudes, and passive environments are thieves of energy. You must become ruthless in guarding your mind and your time. Surround yourself with people who move, who build, who expect more from themselves and from you. Read, listen, and engage with material that lifts you higher and sharpens your edge. If you allow yourself to be contaminated by mediocrity, your enthusiasm will die a slow death, and you will wonder where your power went. Finally, you must act. Enthusiasm without action is nothing more than noise. The true test of your passion is not how much you talk, but how consistently you move forward. Every day you delay is a day you lose momentum. Start where you are. Build energy through movement. Let your results multiply your enthusiasm, and your enthusiasm multiply your results. When you push yourself forward with relentless urgency, you will find that obstacles shrink, resistance weakens, and opportunities begin to find you. Stop waiting for the world to notice you. Make yourself impossible to ignore. Pour your spirit into your work, your relationships, your ambitions. Let enthusiasm become your calling card and your legacy. You have no excuse for living a small life in a world built by those who dared to burn brighter than their circumstances. Your enthusiasm is your magnet. If you learn to use it, everything you desire will begin to move in your direction. You must realize right now that every single day you broadcast an invisible message to the world. Either you are magnetic or you are repellent. There is no neutral ground. If you wake up in apathy, approach your work with reluctance, or speak of your plans in a flat, defeated voice, you do not need to wonder why you remain stuck. You repel progress and people alike. The world rewards those who radiate an energy that cannot be ignored, an enthusiasm that stirs the souls of others and quickens the pace of events. I say this not to inspire you for a moment, but to compel you to live in a way that commands success to find you. Do not underestimate how powerfully your attitude moves things in your favor or against you. It is the law of attraction operating in the most practical terms. To master enthusiasm as your magnet, you must first become intensely aware of your internal state. Most men are unconscious of their own energy. They stumble through life letting moods, circumstances, and disappointments set the thermostat of their spirit. You must become the master, not the slave, of your own inner climate. Set your emotional tone by decision, not reaction. Begin every day by choosing your state. Speak affirmations that awaken your inner fire. Visualize your goals until you feel the energy pulse in your veins. If your mind starts to drift into doubt or fatigue, arrest it immediately and refocus on your vision. Never surrender your inner state to the weather outside. The world cannot resist a person who is on fire from within. Understand that enthusiasm is not a trait you are born with or without. It is a muscle, and like all muscles, it strengthens with use and withers with neglect. Each time you attack your work with zeal, greet others with genuine warmth, or express your ideas with conviction, you reinforce the habit. Each time you shrink back, mutter excuses, or allow yourself to be dulled by routine, you erode your own power. Make enthusiasm non-negotiable. Let it become your new baseline, the standard you refuse to drop below. The mediocre are allergic to effort and allergic to energy. Do not let their lethargy infect you. It is your duty to bring more to the day than you found when you woke up. Let me be clear. There will be moments when enthusiasm feels unnatural, when setbacks threaten to crush your spirit, and when the world does not respond to your energy with instant results. This is the critical moment that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Anyone can be enthusiastic when things are easy, but when nothing is working, when obstacles mount, when you are tempted to resign to the average, that is when you must double your spirit. Push yourself to bring more energy to your purpose in the very moments it is hardest to do so. The habit of enthusiasm is built in adversity, not comfort. This is where you become magnetic. This is where your character becomes impossible to ignore. You will notice that enthusiasm is contagious, but so is indifference. Never underestimate your impact on others. Your family, your team, your colleagues, your friends, they take their cues from your energy. If you approach life with indifference, do not be surprised when you find yourself surrounded by inertia and resignation. If you instead blaze forward with conviction, you will ignite those around you. It is a force multiplier. Your enthusiasm does not just benefit you, it creates a field of influence that lifts others, mobilizes resources, and attracts new allies to your cause. The quickest way to change your circumstances is to raise your energy and become the person everyone wants to help and follow. Enthusiasm will expose weaknesses in your vision. If you find yourself unable to summon energy for your current pursuits, take it as a sign perhaps your aim is not true or your goals are too small. Do not attempt to manufacture enthusiasm for a life or work that fails to move you. Have the courage to reevaluate, to dream bigger, to realign your efforts with something that truly excites your soul. Life is too short for lukewarm ambition. Set your sights on goals that terrify and electrify you in equal measure. Then, and only then, can you unleash enthusiasm with integrity and authenticity. You must also learn to convert setbacks into fuel. The world will test your spirit. You will encounter critics, naysayers, and countless disappointments. Weak men let these experiences drain them. The wise convert every failure, every challenge, every defeat into a spark that makes their passion burn even hotter. Every no becomes a stepping stone to a bigger yes. Every disappointment sharpens your resolve. Every time you are underestimated, let it be a reason to dig deeper, to become more relentless, to let your enthusiasm grow brighter instead of dimmer. The road to greatness is paved with those who refuse to be dampened by the world. Take this seriously. You cannot separate enthusiasm from discipline. The most effective people are those who show up day after day with energy, especially when they don't feel like it. You must condition your mind and body to perform regardless of mood or external validation. Build rituals that anchor your enthusiasm. Read uplifting material every morning. Speak powerful affirmations. Visualize your wins. Move your body and attack your first tasks with vigor. When you master your own start, the rest of the day bends in your direction. The key is to never allow yourself to slide back into passivity or routine. Life rewards the relentless. Make it your mission to make others feel more alive in your presence. When you speak, let your words carry the charge of belief. When you listen, let your attention be electric. When you walk into a room, let the atmosphere shift because of the energy you bring. Become the person others want to be around, the one whose enthusiasm for life makes mediocrity feel uncomfortable and small-mindedness impossible to endure. If you do this, you will never want for opportunities, allies, or resources. The world moves toward the light. Remember, Enthusiasm is not always loud. Sometimes it is a quiet, unbreakable resolve, a calm intensity that says, I will not be denied. But it is always present, always burning, always unmistakable. Let your life become a demonstration of what is possible when you refuse to shrink, when you refuse to grow weary, when you refuse to let the grind of days grind you down. Make yourself the exception. Make yourself the magnetic force that bends fate, fortune, and people to your will. There is no secret beyond this. Enthusiasm is the difference between a dreamer and a doer, between a wish and a command, between obscurity and influence. Make it your identity. Make it your legacy. And you will see that everything you once struggled for will begin to move toward you as if pulled by a magnet that is powered by nothing but the white-hot flame inside you. Enthusiasm is not a momentary burst of emotion. It is a deliberate act of will. The man who treats enthusiasm as a fleeting mood will always find himself at the mercy of circumstance. True power comes from cultivating an inner flame that outlasts disappointment, fatigue, and the gray monotony that defeats most men. If you are waiting for life to give you a reason to be enthusiastic, you have misunderstood the laws of achievement. Life will never hand you enthusiasm. It demands you generate it from within, especially when you have every excuse not to. The fire inside you must burn hotter than the cold indifference of the world. Now let's tear down a fatal myth that the world owes you excitement, inspiration, or validation. No one is coming to rescue you from the dull routine of your days. No one will ignite your passion for you. If you do not seize each morning and command your own spirit, you will spend your life orbiting the enthusiasm of others, never generating the force that bends reality in your direction. The greatest men in history, those who left their mark on the world, were not the luckiest or the most gifted. They were those who refused to let their mood be dictated by their surroundings. They made enthusiasm their constant, their weapon, and their signature. You will find, as you advance on your path, that the energy you emit is like a homing signal for opportunities and people. Your enthusiasm draws out the best in others. When you approach your work with excitement, you create a current that others wish to follow. People want to associate with those who believe in what they are doing, who radiate purpose. Employers hire, partners join, and investors support those who are visibly lit from within. It is not charisma for show, it is spiritual gravity. You become a living advertisement for possibility. If you seek to attract wealth, love, influence, or respect, cultivate enthusiasm, not for what you hope to receive, but for what you are building and who you are becoming. But beware. The world is filled with energy thieves. They are everywhere. The chronic complainers, the pessimists, the critics, the bored and bitter souls who have long since surrendered their inner fire. They will try to sap your spirit, diminish your victories, mock your optimism. Never argue with them. Never attempt to convert them. Your task is to protect your energy as you would your fortune. Limit your exposure. Surround yourself with people who spark your vision, who feed your fire, who celebrate your intensity. If you cannot find them, be them, and watch as you begin to attract them by the force of your example. To make enthusiasm truly unstoppable, you must discipline your body as well as your mind. Energy is not a mere mental trick. It is a full body commitment. Pay attention to your health. Move every day. Nourish yourself with food that energizes, not dulls. Guard your rest as fiercely as your ambition. A tired body will sabotage the best intentions. Your physiology is the vehicle for your enthusiasm. Treat it with respect. The world will tell you to slow down, to be realistic, to rest when you are not tired. Ignore this advice. Rest only when you have earned it, when your enthusiasm has exhausted every ounce of your daily strength in the service of your vision. There is an iron law of enthusiasm that too many ignore. Energy must be directed to multiply. Scattered excitement produces nothing but chaos. You must focus your enthusiasm like a laser on your greatest goals. Each morning, revisit your chief aim. Visualize it so clearly that you can feel the energy surge through your body. Then pour that energy into the actions that move you forward. Say no to distractions, side projects, or temptations to drift. You are not here to dabble. You are here to build a legacy that outlives you. The world bends for those whose energy is concentrated and relentless. Let me give you the truth most will not tell you. Enthusiasm is the antidote to fear. When you face obstacles, your mind will manufacture 1,000 reasons to turn back. Fear will whisper that you are not ready, that you do not belong, that you will fail. You must drown out that voice with the louder song of your enthusiasm. Attack your fears with action. Throw yourself into the task with so much energy that doubt cannot keep up. Most people fail not for lack of talent, but for lack of daring. The enthusiastic man dares more, risks more, and recovers faster from setbacks. He knows that even if he stumbles, the world cannot resist his spirit for long. Your progress in life will be measured by the times you chose enthusiasm over cynicism, by the number of times you started again with more determination, by how often you infected others with your energy instead of letting them drain yours. Enthusiasm is the spark that ignites perseverance, and perseverance is what converts ordinary effort into extraordinary results. When your dreams seem distant and your strength wanes, remind yourself why you began. Rekindle your vision daily. Do not let your enthusiasm die quietly. Resuscitate it with memory, with faith, with commitment, with action. You will also notice that as your enthusiasm grows, your sense of possibility expands. The world opens up not to the cautious, but to the bold. Ideas flow to those who are in motion, who believe in their capacity to create change. The person who lives with enthusiasm attracts synchronicities, resources, mentors, and miracles. Doors open that once seemed sealed. Suddenly, what appeared impossible a year ago becomes your new reality. This is not mystical thinking. It is the natural result of moving through the world as a generator rather than a consumer of energy. Never let anyone shame you for your intensity. The world wants you average, manageable, safe. Greatness requires a willingness to be misunderstood, to be mocked for your energy, to stand out by virtue of your spirit. Accept this. Make peace with being the exception. The world's greatest contributors were once called foolish for their enthusiasm. History remembers the few who refused to dim their light, who chose enthusiasm as their lifelong companion. As your journey continues, develop rituals that reinforce your identity as an enthusiastic person. Speak affirmations with conviction, even when you do not fully believe them. Recall your past victories and let them fan the flames of new ambition. Study those who overcame greater odds with nothing but passion and persistence. Refuse to speak words of doubt or limitation. Instead, let your language be a declaration of what you are becoming, not a lament for what you lack. Every sentence, every thought, every action, let it be a brick laid on the foundation of a magnificent life. Above all, do not wait for motivation. Act first, and enthusiasm will follow. The man who moves, even imperfectly, stirs up a force that the idle never know. Momentum is the ally of the enthusiastic. Action multiplies energy. The more you do, the more you want to do, the more you create, the more you are able to create. This is the compounding effect of enthusiasm. It grows as you feed it, until it is a tidal wave carrying you past the limits you once believed were real. Remember, you are never a victim of circumstance if you possess an enthusiastic spirit. You are the cause, not the effect. You are the magnet, not the iron filings. The moment you realize this, you become unstoppable. You bend the world to your will. Enthusiasm is not just an attitude, it is the engine of destiny, the fuel of greatness, the pulse of all progress. Let it roar within you, and watch as the impossible bends in your direction. And so you continue, undaunted, relentless, enthusiastic, knowing that your spirit is your greatest asset, your enthusiasm your greatest magnet, and your future nothing more than the direct result of the energy you unleash every single day. To harness enthusiasm as a magnet for opportunity, you must become a master of the emotional environment you create and sustain. Understand this. Your dominant state becomes your reputation before a single word leaves your mouth. Walk into a room slouched, brooding, heavy with the burdens of your private life, and the universe responds in kind. People close themselves off, business dissolves, doors stay shut. Walk in with an animated step, eyes alive with anticipation, voice charged with conviction, and those same doors swing open. The difference is not the world. The difference is you. You have to make enthusiasm a discipline, not a fluke. This means you do not allow your inner state to be dictated by the petty frustrations of the day. You don't lose your spark because of a setback or let yourself be soured by the mediocrity of others. Instead, you set the emotional tone, no matter what comes against you. It is the difference between leadership and followership, between power and victimhood. A man who can manufacture enthusiasm when circumstances don't warrant it is a man who commands his fate. Others will follow him, seek him out, and want to align with his mission because such energy is rare and rare is valuable. This is not a call to perform or be artificially positive. Forced cheerfulness is brittle and easily broken. Authentic enthusiasm is deep, real, and indestructible. It springs from conviction, belief in your mission, your capacity, your future. If you find your spirit flagging, do not scold yourself. Investigate. Have you lost sight of your vision? Are you neglecting your health? Have you allowed the complaints and doubts of others to poison your well? Return to the source. Write out your goals again. Rehearse your past victories. Cut out the parasites who bleed your ambition. Nourish your mind with books, conversations, and environments that make you feel bigger, not smaller. There will be moments when your enthusiasm feels like a tiny flicker in a world of indifference. In these times, you must stoke it relentlessly. Refuse to complain, refuse to gossip, refuse to focus on what is missing or broken. Instead, speak of what you are building. Tell yourself with certainty that you are moving forward. The world might not notice your quiet persistence at first. It may even laugh at your optimism or try to drag you down to its level. But keep pressing forward. Remember, the river carves the canyon not with force, but with relentless, enthusiastic persistence. Consistency is the multiplier. The man who radiates enthusiasm once a week will be forgotten. The one who does so daily, regardless of external reward, builds a reputation that precedes him. People begin to say, he is always on fire. He lifts everyone. He is the person who gets things done. Opportunities, alliances, and unexpected breakthroughs start to seek you out unbidden. When people discuss who should lead, who should be trusted, who should be rewarded, your name rises to the surface, not because of luck, but because you made yourself unforgettable. Never confuse enthusiasm with noise or showmanship. It is not about being the loudest or the most flamboyant. It is about radiating an unshakable sense of direction. Speak less about your enthusiasm and let your actions, your work ethic, your presence demonstrate it. Arrive early, stay late, go the extra mile, exude reliability and warmth in every interaction. The world is full of people who want credit for intentions. You will be the one who is remembered for results and the enthusiasm that made them inevitable. Remember, the greatest opportunities will not be delivered to the timid or the ambivalent. They will be seized by those whose energy announces their readiness. When you walk through the world with relentless enthusiasm, you become a beacon to everything and everyone that can help you rise. You move from hoping for miracles to causing them. Your enthusiasm is your magnet. Make it strong, make it unbreakable, and the world cannot help but respond. True enthusiasm, the kind that turns invisible opportunity into concrete results, is not merely an emotion. It is a deliberate discipline, a tool sharpened by willpower and kept alive by constant use. Too many men mistake the rush of excitement for enthusiasm, only to discover that as soon as the initial fire dies down, so too does their ambition. This is why most never finish what they start. They are dependent on inspiration, not mastery. If you want to achieve anything of lasting value, you must train yourself to create enthusiasm on command, regardless of circumstances, setbacks, or the opinions of others. This discipline is not born overnight. It is the consequence of conscious choice, practiced over days, months, years. Each morning you must wake and decide, I will generate energy. I will face my duties as if they matter, because they do. I will not poison my own future with boredom or self-pity. The man who can do this has already defeated 99 out of 100 of his competitors before breakfast. While others let the day decide their mood, you decide the day. You might be tempted to think, but how can I possibly remain enthusiastic in the face of disappointment, rejection, or the slow grind of repetition? Here is the secret. You do not wait for results to give you enthusiasm. You give enthusiasm to your results. The man who only celebrates after the fact is always one step behind the man who celebrates the process. When you attack your work with gusto, regardless of recognition, you raise your value in the eyes of everyone who witnesses your labor, including yourself. Recall the farmer. He does not wait to feel inspired to plant his seeds. He prepares the soil, does the back-breaking work, and sows with confidence in the harvest, even when the clouds are low and rain is uncertain. His enthusiasm is not noise or performance. It is faith in action, a belief that what he starts, he can finish. Every day, you must be the farmer of your own destiny. Plant the seeds of action, of optimism, of relentless effort, because the harvest always belongs to those who labor with conviction. Your energy, your spirit, your spark is noticed even when you think it isn't. Do not be fooled into thinking that what you project is wasted. Every interaction, every meeting, every moment you spend bringing full attention and passionate intent to your work, you are writing your reputation into the minds of those around you. People are attracted not to titles or credentials, but to the force of personality. The confident, vital, positive force of a man or woman on a mission is magnetic. It makes them unforgettable. Even if you feel invisible now, if you persist, you will soon be the person whose name comes up in rooms where you aren't present. Do not become discouraged by the slow pace of recognition. Most people will not notice your enthusiasm immediately. Some may even try to dampen it. You must remember, the energy you generate is not only for the world, but for yourself. You are not in competition with the applause of others. You are in competition with your own limitations, your past inertia, your own old self. Overcome yourself first, and everything else follows. Understand also that enthusiasm is not blind optimism. It is not the absence of problems, but the refusal to be defined or limited by them. When setbacks occur, as they inevitably will, your response must be swift and determined. I will not surrender my spirit to defeat. I will use this as fuel. Every problem is a summons to greater energy, not less. If you can discipline yourself to react with increased intensity, with more focused purpose, when faced with adversity, you become unbreakable. This is the secret known by every great leader and creator. Adversity is not a wall, but a test of endurance and energy. You must also be vigilant against the greatest enemy of enthusiasm, routine without meaning. Repetition is necessary for mastery, but without a burning vision, it becomes drudgery. Keep your goals vivid and close. Write them where you can see them every day. Speak them aloud to yourself each morning. Let them remind you why you began. When you feel your fire dwindling, revisit your purpose. Ask yourself, why did I start? And then, what would it cost me to quit? Usually, you will find that the cost of quitting is far greater than the discomfort of pressing on. Do not hide your enthusiasm or apologize for it. In a world addicted to cynicism and sarcasm, the man who radiates conviction and excitement stands out as a beacon. Others may mock you at first, but secretly they envy your energy. Many will eventually seek to bask in your light. Use this to your advantage. Align yourself only with those who fuel your fire, not those who smother it. Protect your emotional environment as fiercely as you protect your physical health. Just as you would not eat spoiled food, do not digest the negativity of those who have given up on their own dream. Enthusiasm also demands courage. The courage to speak when others are silent, to try when others hesitate, to keep going when logic and comfort suggest you give up. You will be tempted to shrink back, to make yourself smaller so as not to stand out, to hide your ambition in order to avoid the disappointment of failure. Resist this urge. Remember, those who try to blend in with the crowd are always forgotten by history. You must dare to be remembered. The more you express your enthusiasm, the more it multiplies. Momentum builds with every action, every positive word, every decision to show up with full effort. Momentum is the invisible current that carries you forward even on days when your willpower wanes. This is why the most successful people in any field seem to be on fire for years. They have built a self-sustaining engine of energy, and the world cannot help but be drawn to them. Finally, recognize that enthusiasm is not just a personal advantage, it is your obligation. The world does not need more critics, more doubters, more weary souls. It needs leaders, creators, and builders who believe so deeply in what they are doing that others are compelled to join in. When you live this way, you grant others permission to do the same. You inspire, not by preaching, but by example. Your energy lifts the whole room, the whole project, the whole community. You become a catalyst for transformation. In summary, enthusiasm is the foundation of greatness. It is the current that turns thought into action, effort into progress, vision into reality. Cultivate it, protect it, and broadcast it daily, for your future depends on it. The world rewards those who cannot be ignored, and nothing is more impossible to ignore than genuine, relentless enthusiasm. Hold this truth close. Your enthusiasm is your magnet. Make it the strongest force in your life and watch as every door worth opening swings wide to receive you. Every truly magnetic personality you've ever observed was not born with that force. They built it brick by brick through an unbreakable contract with themselves to show up every single day with energy, vision, and commitment, even when the world offered no applause and no immediate result. The truth most people never realize is that enthusiasm, like all powerful traits, is not inherited but manufactured by the daily habits you tolerate and the spirit you summon when others sink into mediocrity. To master enthusiasm as your personal magnet, you must treat it as the rarest treasure, guarded, replenished, and never compromised. It begins with self-honesty. You cannot attract abundance if you are pretending to be something you are not, nor can you infect a room with your spirit if you are secretly disgusted with your own reflection. Look in the mirror and demand more of yourself, not in the voice of a critic, but as your own most trusted mentor. Ask, am I approaching my day as a victim or as the builder of my own future? Every morning you have a choice. Stay shackled to yesterday's doubts or announce a new standard of energy and intention. Only one path is magnetic. The other is a guarantee of continued invisibility and frustration. Guard your mind. You must take full responsibility for what you allow into your consciousness. Just as a skilled gardener uproots weeds before they choke the crop, so must you remove negativity, envy, idle gossip, and the poison of self-pity before it strangles your spirit. Mental resilience is not about denying reality. It is about controlling your interpretation of it. Every setback, every delay, every moment of boredom or disappointment must be reframed as an opportunity to double down on your purpose. Refuse to be sidetracked by the emotions or expectations of the crowd. A magnetic aura is not born from pleasing everyone. It comes from living with unapologetic clarity and intention. If you are serious about making your enthusiasm your calling card, you must set goals so compelling, so grand, they demand your very best. Ordinary goals generate ordinary effort. Only when your vision frightens and excites you in equal measure will your brain and spirit rally every resource to bring it to life. Remember, big goals are not a burden, they are fuel. When you commit to something so audacious that you cannot help but feel alive at the thought of it, you have no choice but to show up each day with fresh energy. You must eliminate the timid wish list and replace it with a bold declaration of what you will do, become, and create. Discipline is the silent partner of enthusiasm. Without discipline, your excitement burns hot and fast, then fades as quickly as it appeared. With discipline, even on your worst days, you can still act in accordance with your mission. The man who builds a legacy is not the one who rides waves of excitement, but the one who persists when motivation is gone and only discipline remains. Ask yourself every evening, did I move closer to my vision today? If not, you must course correct with honesty, not excuse. Hold yourself to a higher standard than anyone else will demand, and the world will eventually reward you for it. It is impossible to overstate the importance of your environment. If you surround yourself with cynics, complainers, and cowards, their energy will slowly poison your spirit until you become one of them. If you intentionally cultivate relationships with men and women who expect greatness from themselves, who attack life with vigor, who see possibilities instead of limitations, their fire will ignite your own. Curate your circle as you would choose business partners, ruthlessly, strategically, with a bias toward those who inspire you to become more. Remember, energy is contagious, so is mediocrity. Choose your contagion wisely. Enthusiasm must be expressed, not just felt. The world cannot read your mind. It responds only to what you project. Use your words, your posture, your tone, your body language to signal your certainty. Speak as if your vision is already real. Move as if you own the ground beneath your feet. People are drawn to those who act as if the future is inevitable because that confidence is so rare. Doubt repels, conviction attracts. If you must, rehearse in private until your belief in yourself is stronger than your fear of looking foolish. Eventually, you will realize the greatest fools are those who never risked looking foolish in pursuit of a worthy cause. Never fall into the trap of waiting for the right moment to become enthusiastic. There is no right moment, only the moment you choose. Begin before you feel ready. Act with energy before you have the evidence. Every great success story is built on premature confidence, and the audacity to persist when logic says quit. If you want to be irresistible to opportunity, to mentors, to collaborators, and to the very circumstances you hope to shape, bring passion to the table before you are rewarded for it. The world does not pay men for being realistic. It pays them for being relentless. There will be seasons when your enthusiasm is tested by pain, loss, betrayal, or plain exhaustion. This is the crucible in which the most magnetic personalities are forged. Many will quit or shrink in the face of adversity. The few who double down, who show up with fire, even when their world is cold, are the ones who rise to command not just their destiny, but the destiny of others. When you refuse to be broken by circumstances, you become a beacon for everyone who is silently searching for proof that greatness is still possible. Let your resilience be your signal. When you are tired, show more energy. When you are doubted, speak more boldly. When you are overlooked, outwork and outshine the rest until the world cannot ignore you. Enthusiasm also requires humility, the willingness to learn, adapt, and grow. The moment you believe you have arrived, your magnetism begins to dull. Remain a student of your craft, of human nature, of success itself. Study the best, imitate what works, and refine it until it is yours. Ask questions. Listen more than you speak. But when you do speak, let your words be fueled by conviction. The world is full of talkers, but it starves for leaders who act. Let your deeds be the exclamation point on every promise you make. Understand that enthusiasm, when properly directed, becomes influence. You cannot lead, sell, teach, or inspire without it. The great persuaders of history, those who move nations, change industries, build movements, do so not through coercion, but through the power of their own belief. They make you want to follow them because you sense that they are going somewhere you want to go. If you wish to rise in any field, to command resources, loyalty, and opportunities, become the kind of person whose presence makes people feel more alive. That is the ultimate currency in any marketplace. Do not confuse fake positivity with real enthusiasm. The former is surface level, easily punctured by challenge or critique. The latter is deep, unshakable, because it is built on a foundation of purpose and discipline. If you ever find your spirit flagging, revisit your purpose. Ask yourself, what am I doing this for? Realign your vision with your deepest values. Enthusiasm cannot survive long in a job, business, or relationship that contradicts your core. If you find yourself stuck, make the changes you've been avoiding. Life is too short to waste another day waiting for conditions to improve. The condition that matters most is your own willingness to take bold action. Teach yourself to recover quickly from setbacks. The difference between winners and losers is not that the former never fail. It is that they bounce back faster. When you are knocked down, force yourself to stand up immediately, energetically, and with a lesson in hand. Make adversity your coach, not your prison guard. Let every scar become a source of strength, every disappointment a reminder that you are still in the game, and every closed door a cue to create your own entrance. Your story is not defined by what happens to you, but by how fiercely you respond. You will discover in time that enthusiasm becomes a habit. The more you choose it, the easier it becomes. The world will start to respond first subtly, then unmistakably. People will seek you out, doors will open, opportunities will appear as if by magic. This is not magic. It is the inevitable result of living as if your life matters, as if your work is meaningful, as if your days are too precious to be squandered in apathy or complaint. Keep this habit alive at all costs. In your final assessment, remember this. The journey of greatness is not a straight line, nor is it a smooth road. There will be days of triumph and days of tedium, moments of recognition and stretches of obscurity. Your enthusiasm is the constant that binds it all together. It is the torch you carry through dark valleys and across sunlit peaks. Never let it go out. Stoke it daily with gratitude, challenge, vision, and action. When you live this way, the world becomes your ally. Your efforts compound, and your results astonish even you. Never forget. The one thing the world cannot resist is a man or woman who is fully alive. When you bring your whole self to every endeavor, when your heart, mind, and spirit are on fire, you become the rarest force of all. A human magnet, pulling opportunity, people, and abundance into your orbit. There are no limits for the man who will not allow his enthusiasm to be extinguished. Make this your creed, your daily vow, your secret power. For in the end, your enthusiasm will be remembered long after your achievements, and your spirit will continue to shape the world long after your time has passed. This is the legacy of every truly magnetic soul. Make it yours.